What's going on, Spittin Chiclets fans? Biz here. Thanks for tuning in to another interview as part of the ECHL Player Relief Fund interview series. And this one is brought to you by our good pals at Bud Light and especially Bud Light Seltzer. Bud Light Seltzer is low in carbs, low in sugar, and a great option to enjoy responsibly while watching an interview you're about to check out. And in another unquestionably good move, Bud Light Seltzer has generously donated $10,000 to the ECHL Player Relief Fund. Their support is going directly in the pocket out of work members of the hockey community who need it most. We know times are not easy right now, so we're trying to give you as much content as we can. So we hope you enjoy this interview, and please stay safe. And once again, thank you to Bud Light and Bud Light Seltzer.
He taught me what lines were. He taught me puck lines. He taught me NFL bets, money lines, A&Rs. He taught me it all. He taught me blackjack. The 51st pick, I believe, in 1999. He was drafted in the 90s. Oh. Matthew Murley, thank you so much for joining the show. Recently retired.
Yeah, thanks for having me. A couple low blows there, but I deserve a little more than that.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a low blow because what happened was, and I think you did tell this the last time, the first time we ever met, you dragged me to a casino. I was late for curfew, and you taught me how to play blackjack. So since then, I've lost, I don't even really want to throw a number out there. I know you're at the same spot. The true degenerate, why did you even ever get me into that shit?
Yeah, I apologize for that, first off. And I actually have a really good story from the first episode. I had to explain how I gamble in Europe, and I was telling you about a website I have. Don't I get an email a week later from Bet365? Oh, you're a former or you're a pro hockey player. You can no longer bet hockey with our website.
No, wow,
yeah.
really?
So they
you
cut
were crushing
me
the
off.
KHL and stuff.
They cut me off all hockey. I could still bet baseball, soccer. They cut me off from hockey, and so I obviously had to stop playing there. My girlfriend at the time, Johanna, ends up making her own account, so I started using hers.
Unreal.
A bunch of pussies, man.
I heard KHL is one of the easiest to gamble on because certain teams are going to get the calls at home and they want them to win.
Huge lines, though.
Well, there's definitely been. I mean, you guys have enough stories of it where the referees get the beers and the strippers into the dressing room on certain games, and if you're really looking to KHL, you catch them late in the season when the big clubs, CSKA, SK, they gobble up the best player from each of the other teams for the playoff runs.
And then you start hammering them.
And you can hammer them. You can hammer the other team losing.
Like Little League teams are fucking rigging up for the state tourney.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some money to be made there.
Well, another thing we didn't talk about was the fact that I guess when you guys got him on the first time, he had to help you guys out because you'd lost an interview. So you needed someone to come on for that episode. And you called Murls, and Murls is like, guys, I just crushed the Bam Bam like 30 minutes ago.
He's like, wait, I'm on a sleeper. I'm like, Murls, fucking Werenski for the second time isn't answering his phone. This guy's treating us like a complete pigeon. He's like, shit, all right. And then last night we were chatting, Murls like, I re-listened to make sure I don't tell the same stories, but I think at the end I was like, I was falling asleep. I was on that Swedish sleeper.
Blacked out.
Yeah, a little mumbly at the end of the last one. I apologize, but yeah, it was I think midnight or something in South Korea, and we had a game the next day. And
that's right too. Yeah, you were in South Korea.
Yeah, the time was all messed up.
Well, it's funny finally meeting you. It was like meeting a long lost buddy because since then we're both degenerates. So we've been DMing like back and forth. So it was like a big bear hug when we met each other, like my gambling cousin. Hey, you went to RPI, so you're not too much of a dummy then, right?
Yeah, I used to be really smart.
No chance he gets in without hockky.
After 20 years of this, or 19 years of pro hockey, whatever I played, like those book smarts are long gone. But
you're a math guy, though.
Not like you.
You've lost that
I pretty
too?
much lost everything, but I can tell you any hockey system, or I can tell you any kind of player you want. My hockey knowledge is still there, but the mathematics and book stuff is pretty long gone.
Do you know Oatsy at all? A fellow alum?
Yeah, I've met him a couple times. He's not really around the program that much when I was there, and a guy like Joe Juno is a guy I really remember watching there.
You mean Joey Juno?
Yeah.
So you were going to all those games, like Friday, the way I went to BU, you're going to RPI games.
Yeah, when I could, and it was '85. They won the national title, so that's. I was 6
So you were
years
20.
old, and
You were 20.
That was the biggest thing, and that's why I went to RPI. Like I always wanted to go there and grow up there. And program's going a little rough times right now, but hopefully it turns around.
So funny enough, I'll go into the story of what happened last night at the Caps Flyers Caps game, but I was recently reminded, we're watching the game, we're talking about how good these kids were and how fast the game is now. and how cocky some of the young guys are. They're just so cocky. Like, they just know they're good, and they come in and they don't care, and there's no veterans intimidating them. Merles goes, I was unbelievable. Then I lost my cockiness. Merles is the guy that went into RPI his freshman year. They got a 2-mile run. What did you do on that?
Yeah, you told that story last time.
Yeah, but people haven't heard it.
We were running the track, so I made it 2 laps, 800 meters. I'd never, I didn't run. All we did was play hockey. My coach growing up was just hockey. No lifting, no running, and I couldn't run anymore. I go, I'm done. And the guys are all over me. Keep going. I'm done. I'm here to score.
Freshman.
I'm not here for this other
How
stuff.
resentful were they?
They were not impressed. They were not impressed. But then,
Until you slapped up.
What'd you say at the end,
opening
though?
night we played BU and I scored the opening goal. So then everything was fine.
49 points in 36 games.
Yeah,
We'll
that
shut
was,
him up.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good run there that year. And man,
Was there one
days.
vet?
That was a long time ago.
Was there one vet that was just trying to bully you the entire season because he's like this?
Oh
young?
yeah, Mark Murphy. He was a beauty, and I the only reason I've made it this far in life, like alive, is because of him. He taught us everything we know, and he'd bully you, go get me a roll of tape, but
It was
that's
awesome.
what you had to do back then. Like, the young guys did what the veterans said, and it taught you how to be a pro. Even though we were still in college, it taught you how to be a pro. Respect the game, and
Even
do what the older
if they
guys-
were teaching the wrong lesson, you were like, "This is my."
Oh, you just did with everything. Guys, this guy Mark Murphy, he was the bouncer at the bar.
Whoa,
that's a fine.
that's a fine.
No,
Money
it's
on the
actually
board.
it's a Swedish voice telling him that a bet just hit.
So he's the bouncer at the bar, the Ruck, when we were in college. And so then we would show up, and we're underage, so we get right in. So he'd be like, Matt, and me and Miggs, he'd like, Miggs, you guys run the door for me, check everybody's ID. So we'd have to sit there all night and check everybody's ID. And he would just be mucking around the bar, drinking. He drank for free, and he'd just be out of the muck with all his other senior classmates and stuff. He made the 2 freshmen check the IDs for us.
Would you at least let you gas beers while you were sitting?
Yeah, we
out
got
there?
the free draft beers too. I mean, $1 beers back then. That was
the
a
guy
good
we
time.
ended up. We played him in the AHL playoffs. He got the beard. He just looks
down
like
in
Grizzly
Philly.
Adams.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a hell of a player.
You guys are gonna smoke me for this, but where is RPI?
Troy, New York.
Merles thinks
Troy, New York, just outside Albany.
Merles thinks Troy, New York is the south of France.
I'll
He
give
thinks
you
it's
guys-
like Lake Como, Italy. It's Troy.
The capital district.
A little known fact: it's the home of Uncle Sam. You know the poster you see, like "I Want You." That's Uncle Sam. He's from Troy, New York.
Any other fun facts we should know about Troy, New York? Or maybe even Albany?
You
Matt
like
sat
it.
in a bar
Bars
longer
are
than any
open
human
till 4
ever in
a.m.,
Troy, New
so
York.
you would enjoy that.
I don't know. I mean, not in Albany. It's fucking.
Part of the Tri-City region, Albany, Troy, and Connecticut.
The one thing I'll say about Troy is Merle's got me into the ponies, and it's pretty close to Saratoga, and that's where we really originally got after it.
Exactly. That's. I'm only there in the summer usually, and it's Saratoga season. There's nothing better.
What is it about Saratoga? Because I've heard a bunch of guys talk about it, and they say that all of
Rockets
a sudden,
and horses.
Yeah. So you're telling me like really attractive women rather go there than, let's say, like the Hamptons and stuff? How is it such a travel destination?
because it's only open 1 month a year. It's old. It has like a real quaintness about it. It's almost like stepping back in a time machine a little bit because it's like the old fashioned tote boards. And it's funny. You really it runs the total financial gamut. You got like gazillionaires who own tons of horses next to like degenerates like me in their sweatpants.
So does Dave go there?
Oh yeah.
Dave Portno, yeah?
Oh yeah.
He's always up
he's
there.
always
Yeah,
up
he
there,
loves it up
gussied
there.
up with his suit
I think we
on.
should do a content piece and get all the degenerate gamblers together and go to Saratoga.
One time,
at
me
least
and
I'll
Merle's
have
won
something to
there.
distract me while you guys are losing money.
Yeah, last
We
time I
won
saw
one
Whit
time.
was in Saratoga for your brother's bachelor party. I think we bet 17 races. And we went 1 in 16 or something.
No, it
and
was
then
a
we just
joke.
called it. We quit after race 7. All right, we're done.
No, we
We're
went
going
up
to
to
the horseshoe.
We went up to drink, and it was one of those things. I hadn't seen him in 2 years almost. Longest. I haven't seen him since we met. I'm like, holy shit! So we go up. We're 1 in 16 in the races. So we're like, all right, let's just take a little break. We just start drinking. Sorry, there was probably 5 races left when we went up. Either way. We start drinking, like an hour and a half goes by where it feels like a minute. You're catching up with an old teammate, closest buddy. We're like, all right, there's 1 race left. There was 1 race left. We hammer the favorite at like 3-1. Both get dummied on that one, have no money. My ATM is maxed out. He loses his credit card. I'm like, we can't even, we've grown up 10 years. We still can't even be responsible for 5 minutes together.
So, Merles, when did you first meet these two guys in camp with Wilkes-Barre, right?
Oh, in
no.
Pittsburgh. I think I actually met Biz first, and he tells a story, and Whit always, I know, gives him a hard time, but he was like, I thought he made the team as when he was 18 years old. He was a D-man. He was on the team. Like, I was the same way. I played every exhibition game. He was in every exhibition game too. And like, this kid's gonna make it out of nowhere. And I mean, I don't know if we grabbed somebody on waivers at the last second, or
I think Dan Foch was coming back from a knee injury, and that made 8. And I mean, listen, I loved. I had a great camp. I had a ton of confidence. I thought maybe I had a chance to at least start the year there. And man, I was line matched against Joe Thornton at the Halifax game. Did you play in that one?
I was up in that game. Yep.
I was playing with Straka, and I don't know if Lemieux was in that one.
He didn't play the road.
He
games
didn't go to Halifax for an exhibition.
He only played a couple of the home games.
Right, he wouldn't even do a skate after practice.
And that's what I love. I was on the ice in that story when Mario gave the bag skate.
Okay, so there you go.
And I wanted you to bring it up to Edzo when you had him on the other day. I was like, oh, I hope he brings it up to him.
I know, dude. We ended up, you go into so much with Edzo. We didn't even go into it like that. Yeah. There's too much to talk to him about.
Yeah. So that's how I met Biz, was there, and then Whit was in Wilkes-Barre.
So
we've heard before.
I think I was a different person, though, when I was there as an 18-year-old at his defenseman, because I didn't talk much then. I wasn't as obnoxious as when I came in when I was 20, and then that's when I first met Whit, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And I think,
idiot.
A lot of these,
nasty.
a lot of these like older guys were kind of like, "Holy shit, this guy talks a lot for like his first camp," and that was just rare back then.
Yeah, but then a month later, you loved him. A month later, you loved the
really
guy.
rare back then. Now it's just
so. How
everybody
about
does it.
in '99 when you're picked second round? Koltsov was picked in the first round. How about how that went down?
Yeah, it was in Boston, so we were running around Southie the night before and stuff. But my junior coach had known somebody in Pittsburgh, and he got the info like, yeah, they're deciding between you or Koltsov for the first round pick, 17th overall. I'm like, oh, this is great. Somebody said it went down to like a coin toss. But now my coach tells me this. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, all right, I'm gonna go in the next few picks then.
You were like, give me 1,000 on the heads.
I'm like, nope. Sitting there. Hangover's getting worse by the minute. Like, oh my God, am I ever going to get picked? And then when Pittsburgh came up the second time, like, well, if that story's true, I'm definitely gone. I went there, and a great story about that is at the time it was Kevin Constantine was the coach for Pittsburgh at that time. So I went up to the suite and met him. Who ends up being so basically he's my first coach pro.
Yeah,
never played for him there, but. Who ends up being my last coach pro? Kevin Constantine over in South Korea last year.
No shit, huh?
So I had some old pictures of him, and
is he still over there?
Yeah, he's still over there again this year.
Was he awesome?
He is like a hockey genius. Like I think he started all this analytics and statistics and stuff. Like
really?
Yeah.
So what about the
nuts.
people also said he was a prick? Like, did you see that? Or
no, I never saw that from him. But I mean, I was an older guy, so I wouldn't have saw that much, but. He is just like his meeting. He just wants to watch video and meeting. He just loves it. And he is all into those analytics. And I didn't know anything about that playing all over Europe. And he was amazing. Like if I ever get into coaching, I will use like his books. Like I basically want to steal his laptop and just copy whatever he does. He was an unbelievable coach.
Yeah, he was the first coach to ever coach the Sharks, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think they made the playoffs one year and upset somebody.
Detroit.
He always talked about that.
It's such a fine line. So I played in the American League towards the end of my career, and with LA's farm team, and Mike Stothers, man, like we would watch a decent amount of video, and everyone had to sit in there. But it's such a fine line because like. Guys' attention spans aren't great. I mean, I'd say that's like the one knock on hockey guys where if you don't watch video and correct your mistakes and figure out what it is you're doing wrong, you're behind the 8 ball. All these younger guys, they're all on their iPads watching every shift that they played the night before. Like so playing with him, were you doing a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean we watched everything. He had clips for everything, and then you would have your team clips or maybe a half hour, and then everybody would have their own individual clips. You go with the assistant coach or you go with him. He'd show you 2 or 3 things, and it's with that kind of coaching is like, well, not to do it the next time. Like I would catch myself skating and like, oh, I don't want that to be on video. I better go back in front of the net. Like like your forechecking go behind the net. He would always make it come back out in front of the net.
He's going to stop the video.
So it's like, oh, I don't want to be on video. I better cut back in front of the net.
That's why I thought Stothers was so good, is because the things that he thought were the most important, he would beat it into you at the start of the season where...
Comes second nature.
Well, by the time second half rolls around, like if your stick's not in that lane, when you're back checking and just there, and he'll stop the video and say, bud, You would have picked that off. What the fuck you doing? I've been talking about it for 3 weeks now.
You get embarrassed.
So eventually, the year we ended up winning the Calder Cup, everyone was just on the same page about every time they were in a certain position, they knew exactly what to do. And yeah, was it a bit of a pain in the arse to be sitting in 30-minute long meetings watching video? But I'm convinced that has to be done now in order to have a successful team.
And that's and our old friend Tarian, he was great at the video and making you hold accountable for all that stuff.
That was more of a pig roast.
Yeah,
session.
well, that's what Whit tells me to come down to Philly for this interview, and I'm like, Philly? Like, why are we going to Philly? Then all of a sudden I start thinking, oh no, Tarian's the assistant coach down there. Like, maybe Whit's setting me up for another meeting with Tarian. Like, he's gonna come down here and yell at me again. Like, so.
What were your thoughts on Tarian? I thought he was great for my career personally.
He was a good coach. Amazing coach. He actually did like me, I think. Like, I was actually okay with him. But
you were
he
kind
would
of one of his top
harass us.
dogs. Last minute, you're out there for Tarian.
Oh yeah. He played me. The only thing I would say is, like, I was a scorer. Like, first year in the AHL, I was a scorer. I was playing D on the power play as a scorer. And when he came, he turned me into like the fourth line PK guy.
He made you a
But that's how I made the NHL, was a PK guy. But he's a great coach. But his personnel, like,
so do you think they gave up on you a little early?
They just kind of changed my role, and I was never good enough. Like, if I was really good, I would have played fourth line when somebody got hurt, go to that third line and score. It just never happened.
He did what he thought. I don't think this kid's going to make it as a first or second liner.
Yeah, correct.
He did what he thought could get you to the NHL. So in a sense, did they give up? No, but they changed his role, which probably created it harder for them to kind of keep you, especially when you got injured.
All right, so when that all was going down, was he upfront about it? Did he call you in and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm seeing. I don't think you can be a top six at the next level. I think your way to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was heads up with you?
I'm the only person that had more meetings than me with him was Army. But we used to have like a chalkboard in the room. We'd keep track of who had the most meetings going. But he would go in there and he would say, at the Met, if you want to play NHL, you play this role. And I didn't mind that role. I like playing like shutdown,
you became a rat
PK, block shots, try to draw penalties. I liked that role. That was fun.
Yeah, I think that's common to a lot of guys that are highly skilled in college. And like I always think of Tommy Fitzgerald. Like, he was awesome in Providence, and then you got to the NHL, and they're like, buddy, you're not going to be a stud anymore. If you want to stick, you got to be a checker. You played Albany River Rats for a year. That must have been awesome for you, man. I know it's not the show, but it's like your hometown team. You probably grew up watching them.
Yeah, exactly. I loved it. That's why we were a split team with Colorado and Carolina. And that's why I signed with Colorado. I knew I was going to be in the minors, and I wanted to play 1 year back at home. And
you knew to get the Vegas exhibition.
That
game.
was a tough year though, because I'd go out with the guys on the team like Sunday night, minor league hockey. You go out Sunday night, But then my friends from home and like my brother Tom and them guys want to go out Friday night, so I'd go out Friday night, have to play the game Saturday. But then 5-6 guys would come to the game Saturday. Oh, I got to go back out again. Like, it was just it was a tough system there.
Hungover season.
Yeah, it was a very hungover season, but it was a good season. It's always fun when you can look up and see your parents at the game and stuff like that.
I mean, I like the question, Ari. I kind of want to go back to Terry and do you have any like funny stories off the top? Maybe funny meetings where he just laid into you and.
I never got the worst. Like, Army's was the worst one where he like cleared the table and
you want to go.
And then the really good one was Shane Endicott.
Oh, geez.
So Shane Endicott went in, and Tarian had a cooler of beer, and he throws, hey, Shane, here, catch. And Shane's like, what do you want? He goes, well, have another one. The way you played tonight, it looks like you had about 15 of them last night. So that was a fun one, and Endo didn't know what to do with that one.
Endicott was pretty sick.
Dude, that guy
that
was
lockout
good.
year, this guy was like, this guy's gonna play in the NHL.
Yeah, he had it all. Yeah. But, I mean, we didn't have any development back then. Like, we had no player development. We had great players, but none of us got any better.
What happened to Endicott? I mean, he just fell off.
He made the team out of the lockout, and they were looking at him like he's going to be, third line center. He was 6'3", 230, skated well. He was like tough,
great on faceoffs.
Yeah. He was an awesome player, and I remember he sprained his ankle and he got fucked up. Then he came back. I remember one time he had like a really bad turnover last guy, and I think after that they ended up putting him on waivers because at that point it wasn't he had to go on waivers. Someone might have grabbed him. I don't remember exactly, but he got injured. I know that.
He came down to the minors and he wasn't able to ever find his game again.
Yeah,
You mentioned the high ankle sprain, but like next thing you know, man, he was playing on a line with me. This guy was supposed to be the future of the Penguins, and then he was playing fourth line forward.
For anyone who wants to see something full-blown comedy, YouTube Colby Armstrong and Shane Endicott Cribs episode on YouTube. They were in Wilkes-Barre together. I'll rewatch it once a year and just be laughing the whole time. I mean, they open the fridge, there's like nothing in there.
Bottle of ketchup. And
Army like loses
something.
his keys. Army and Endo are like, where are our keys? It's just classic. That whole crew of characters there was.
There was a characters.
Didn't you get to play with the Daigle right when you got to Wilkes-Barre?
I played with the Daigle my rookie year. He was actually my line mate. That's why my stats were probably so good. This guy. And that's why when I fly into Philly, so we used to stay in the Philly airport. We'd come down here, stay in Philly, then we flew to the playoffs. So this Daigle, oh my God. We're on the bus. There's a playoff game in 2 days, but we're coming down to Philly the night before to fly out. He's, Matt, I got a limo. We go to Atlantic City tonight. And I'm like, oh, really? And I'm like, oh, well, this guy, like NHL legend, like dated Pam Anderson. I'm like, whatever he says, I'm doing. Like, I'm in. He goes, yeah, we go down, we get a nice dinner, and we just come back. Like, who cares? It's 40 minutes. I got a limo, no problem. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. We're driving around the hotel. I wake up in a limo. We're driving around the thing. The guy can't find a way in there. I see the team loading up the bus to go to the airport. So we have to get dropped off in the back of the hotel. We rip the door open, go up the stairs. And this is a guy I wanted to bring up was Tom Kostopoulos.
Oh, TK.
He was my roommate. This guy is all time. I walk in the door 6 a.m. He knows exactly what's going on. He's got my bag packed up for me right there. He's like, dude, take 5 minutes.
Best teammate ever.
Like, just had it all set up for me. He's like, don't worry, you're fine. This is great. Like, that guy, that's a veteran that taught me a lot of anything, how to be. He'll fight anybody. He'll go talk to the coach for anybody. His best thing, he would always offer beers up. Like, guys, we come back and win this game, I'll go to the bar and buy every beer tonight. And we'd be like, ah! And we'd go nuts. And
Get the fuck out.
Oh, buddy, this is also the guy, and I've told this story before, who right when I turned pro after college, he's very dry sense of humor. Everything he says, he doesn't really laugh at, but he's just hilarious. He's like, wow, wait, your calves are unbelievable, man. Do you work those out a lot? And I thought he was serious. I was like, thanks, man. And then everyone starts dying laughing. But then sure as shit, he comes up. He's like, anything you need. Like, I remember thinking turning pro, I was like, wow, this guy, you could tell every single person looks up to him. I was like, this is what a pro is. Yeah, and he was he was a legend in the AHL, and he had a really good NHL career too.
He squeezed every amount of talent out of himself and like hard work and like he's amazing.
Is he the only guy in hockey history to play 600 NHL games in 600?
No, Sean Thornton did that.
Oh, so
I don't know if TK did it. I know Sean Thornton.
Oh, I could have sworn he hit 600
something like that.
I'll click it right here.
Like
but you know what? He was the man.
I mean, that's an elite class, and I mean, I guess if there's only two guys that ever do it, we're 2 for 2 on beauties.
Yep. And another one then thinks that
630 NHL games, and he must have had 600 in the AHL.
I wanted to bring this story up to pump
actually.
Witt's tires a little bit, show how good of a teammate Witt was. This is the same time of year in Wilkes-Barre. So in Wilkes-Barre, we'd go to the game rink, get dressed, and then you'd go to the practice rink for practice.
Oh, that practice rink was the worst.
Yeah, the ice box or something, right?
Oh, my God.
So the night before practice, we were like playing poker or something, and we had a few too many drinks. And I don't think there was even, I don't know if there's cell phones back there or what, whatever. My alarm doesn't go off. But what do I wake up to? Ryan Whitney in full hockey gear in my bedroom. I'm like, what is going on here? He's like,
I had my helmet on too.
He's like, dude, get up. He's like, your equipment's in the truck. Let's go. And I'm like, what? I'm all out of it. He's like, dude, we're late. Let's go. So these guys, him and Army, like best teammates of all time, go to the rink, like check in, see I'm not there. They pack up my gear without like the coaches knowing or anything. Throw it in the truck.
You drive yourself, luckily.
You drive yourself. So they throw me in the truck. It was like youth hockey. I got dressed in the back of Army's Denali. And we sneak into the ice box. Terrian never knew. Get on the ice, like practice. Come into the locker room after. I paid $100 to like TK. No harm, no foul.
Fuck
like,
that's
coaches
team
never
morale.
had to know. Like paid my money, but these guys, he saved me. Like who knows where I would have gone if.
Right,
like,
because now all of a sudden with Terrian, man, if you're behind the 8 ball, like That's one thing about him. He was very spiteful. Where if you were that guy for him, he rode you pretty hard. Like
You'd get in the doghouse for a long time. You'd have to do something special to get out.
Like who was the one guy when you were? I know Noah Welch was a guy that he was pretty hard on because maybe for a bigger guy he wasn't the most physical and he played a softer game, maybe even softer than Witt if you can believe it.
Oh, he was harder than me. Noah hit more than me.
Did he?
I'll admit
but,
that. Yeah.
But who was the one guy where you guys were like, geez, man? Like,
he was hard on Matt Hussey. Remember Huss?
This kid was
so
kid's
good.
snapshot was like Olofsson in Buffalo.
So
and he
good.
could skate like the wind. He played at Wisconsin. Now Matt Hussey plays in the NHL for 10 years.
Yep.
This kid was a freak, and Terry. But
hey, same.
You know what? If I'm gonna say I was a soft player. In the end, you probably look at Matt Hussey as a soft player.
Yeah.
He was so skilled, but he didn't play that gritty. But oh my God, would he get on him? And there was times you're like, Hussey just had 4 goals that last night. Like, maybe lay off him and he's just going to score. He didn't really necessarily accept the criticism that well sometimes, I'm sure.
I would say I'd put Eric Christensen in that same boat as if he played in today's NHL. He would have played 10 years. He was nasty. Hey, talk about a guy who loves heavy metal music.
Oh, yeah. He'd put on his headphones and you'd just hear like Megadeth. But he could play the guitar too.
Drink the blood.
The Viz doing death metal.
Every
Hilarious.
shootout, yeah, he's like the dogs and pets. If you're a parent, you'll get that quote. So
he was a shootout specialist.
He was a shootout
He was like,
specialist.
I think he stayed up some games in Pittsburgh just for that. Like when the shootout first came, he would score every time.
And
same move too.
Going back quick though to that year with the poker, because what would happen was I will never forget. Every day I was so excited for practice to end because myself and Murley lived together. Well, who came over? Talbot, Nazardine.
Oh yeah,
Rammer.
Ramsey Abid and Colby Armstrong once in a while, and we would get
crazy.
Oh, and Mike Scroy. We would play poker for 6 hours. I can remember eating a huge meal after practice. We'd get home, everyone would come over, you'd play cards. While we'd played cards, I'd make 3 bowls of Lucky. I'd have 3 bowls of Lucky Charms, and then I'd make 4 pieces of the cinnamon toast, cinnamon raisin toast, and I'd load it up with butter. This is in between lunch and dinner, and then I'd crush dinner and beers. I'm like looking back, like no wonder my body fat wasn't getting better.
The real degeneracy of that is while we were playing poker live with real cards, we both had our computers on the side playing party poker. So we were playing a live game and then playing the online, like real psychos.
Got the itch, hey boys?
Yeah, we were nuts.
Ramsey Abid's another guy who I heard has incredible stories.
He was one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was hard to play against too. That's a guy you didn't want to play against. He played hard. He took the puck to the net.
He would fight too.
He would fight. Remember who did he fight the one time and he like started beating him up with the helmet?
Yeah,
or
he got
something.
suspended, I think, or fined. I remember that.
I guess we kind of got to dive into Scroy. Were you guys on the team when he played his like porno in the bus?
No, I wasn't on the team.
No, he always talked about him though. He said he had these, but we didn't know if it was true or not. Like
he's like a UFC fighter, a pro poker
player. He showed us
player.
his UFC fights. I remember that.
Yeah. That guy, well, the funniest Scroy story of all time. And Grinelli mentioned, I think he might have reached out to come on.
We'd love to have Scroy.
Yeah, and I think that was the person you said to me, dude, this guy gets signed by Wilkes-Barre because we needed some toughness. Well, what do you know? They got to get headshots for him, right? Everyone needs a headshot that's got to go on the big screen if you get a penalty or a goal. I turn the corner as he's out on the ice doing what we all did in training camp. He's got his shirt off. The photographer, I said, "Why is his shirt off?" He goes, "Hey," he said, "I have to take a couple with his shirt off." You go in the media guy to have his tattoos ripping over his pec with a stick, holding it like this, Scroisy. So he was a nut. He would fight anyone. He was a lunatic.
Dude, you remember he had the car, and he said he took the power steering out of it because he would have to wrestle the wheel. It made him stronger for the fights.
Yeah, so he goes to
It's
take
like
a right turn.
Toyota. He's like, it makes me stronger for fighting. That's why I don't have power steering.
Meanwhile, I'm driving a pregame meal with him, and we're taking an easy right turn. He's like, "This is why I throw hammers." That whole team, that unit of players. But a lot of guys played. I mean, the Fleury was there. Orpik was there.
I mean, we had a crew.
Players.
I mean, this summer I'm listening. Half your guests were down there, and they're all like just the biggest beauties. I'm like, I can't believe we're all on the same team together. These guys. Like
I think I was very fortunate to be drafted with a team who not only like, I would say for the most part they drafted guys who were good people. We had close teams and great leadership. Like Nazardine was there most of the time that I was there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a 10 out of 10. He's coaching with the New Jersey Devils now. But not only that, like the way they ran Wilkes-Barre, it was. I mean, they ran it just as close to an NHL team as probably any other AHL team. I mean, I know Toronto treats their players extremely well now, but I mean, just right? Was it not
back
first
then nobody
class?
else was doing that.
No.
Like they are now. But
They were selling out
We were an
games.
NHL team. We were sold out every night. You had the best locker room. The trainers were unbelievable.
Yep.
Like Steeds, he's a trainer in Pittsburgh now, the athletic trainer. He was amazing. Like, and now you see that. It's like, yeah, guys, put the money into these guys. They're going to play for you eventually.
Yeah. Who else do we need to talk about? Who were the vets when you were there? Was like Clayton not Clayton Keller, Chris Kelleher.
Kelleher was there.
Kells was my D partner.
He came, I think, back the lockout year. He wasn't there my first year. My first year we had Francois Leroux. You know that guy, the big old fighter? This guy, he laid a beating on Brent Thompson that I've never seen. Like, I was on this guy's team, and I was like, stop hitting him. Like, this is getting ugly. And credit to this Brent Thompson, who's just a warrior.
He ate them all.
Went into the locker room, got done back up, and once his 5 minutes was up, he was back on the ice. But it was Francois Leroux. Like, TK wasn't old, but he was a veteran already. Brendan Buckley, he was there. He was an all-timer, too.
So what about
Jason McDonald was an old veteran fighter there.
Then he dummied me in Hartford.
That's what I want to talk about, too, is your guest this summer one is Walshy. He was my roommate.
Oh, my God.
rookie
I
year.
forgot you played with Walsh.
He's the guy that taught me. He goes, get on the bike now after practice. We'd ride the bike 20 minutes. He's like, now we go to the bar. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go drinking with him all day. We get in the locker room, practice. He's like, let's go. Get on the bike. Sweat that out. 20 minutes. And then, boom, right back to the bar again. Like, Walshy. And you know how he is. You guys have seen him now.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, I'll just listen to this kid. He just, like, manipulated me into living with him and then drinking every day.
It seems like any time somebody wanted you to go drinking, it wasn't like they had to twist.
Yeah,
it.
Merle's is like, they're like, hey, you need a drinking partner. Go ask Murley.
Yeah, he's never said no before.
I'm Irish, it's in my blood.
Chris.
Well, talk about drinking. Like, in that time in your life, and I've heard all the stories, I never got to actually join in on the fun, but the Bruckheimer.
Oh, the Bruckheimer tournament.
How did you ever start? Can you tell people what the Bruckheimer was and how you started going?
It was basically a men's league hockey tournament put on by Jerry Bruckheimer, and it would be maybe 4 or 5 NHL like superstars on the teams, and then like his friends in the business that liked hockey, the actors, the producers.
So who are some names of players? And
let's go.
Roenick, we used to go there. Chelios, Reed Simpson, Bergevin. I was the worst player. I had no business there.
Was Fedorov?
Fedorov was there.
Who were some of the celebrities that played? Didn't his actor buddies?
Jerry Bruckheimer was there. Kiefer Sutherland was always there.
Definitely Cuba.
That's what I won the award. It's called the Kiefer Sutherland Award.
Is it really?
Yeah.
2-time winner, didn't
and
you?
it goes to the biggest degenerate like on the trip, like who had the worst gambling night. So I won that award one year. Surprise, surprise.
Guys are making $8 million. You're making $300,000.
So I had, and I won it all because of this one hand. I mean, it I don't know. Who knows what time it was? I put up my last stake. I had like $2,000. I go, that's it. I'm going to bed. Win or lose, I'm going to bed. Of course, I get 2 8s. I got to split them. Tim Conley, like my best friend, he's next to me. He loans me the $2,000 to split them.
A 3.
Get a 3. So now I got a double. And I'm like, Conley, and he's like, nah, I got nothing left. Jim Cummins. Remember that old fighter, Jim Cummins?
Yeah.
He's there, and he's running the anchor.
He's just watching?
He sees it. He throws me $2,000 right away. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to win. Like, dealer's got a 6. I'm like, no problem. Double, I think I got 19, whatever. Next one, I have to double again. Jim Cummins throws me another $2,000.
Oh, God.
But I got 20 now. I'm like, this is great. Dealer's got the 6.
You're a mush.
Flips to 10. Bang,
Boom,
5. I'm like, I owe Jim Cummins $4,000. Like, this guy is going to kill me. I never ran so fast to the cage to get the money back to pay that guy off.
What about the time? And you're a better storyteller than I, but when you taught me craps in the run that I went on,
that was a good night.
That was post my Russia season, so I was on complete tilt and just life.
I remember talking all year with you in Russia, like, get through it. We'll go out in Vegas and have a big weekend. That's how you get through Russia.
Yep, I was thinking about it.
You think about like, what are we going to do with all this money when we get back? So we are on a craps roll. Craps are great. That's the only thing I play anymore is the craps.
Really?
So all of a sudden you see Whit. He's laying on the floor doing a backstroke. And the girl at the stick is like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm swimming in all the money I'm making everybody over here. And then then it became like superstition. Every time he rolled, he had to like lay on the floor. And
I was doing the breaststroke.
So he kept winning.
I remember there was a we were playing as people were going into this club in whatever casino, SLS or something, and I'm like, holy Merles, you seen who's going in this club? Well, next thing you know, they're leaving the club. So that's that. What is that? 6 hours later.
I mean, that shows
those are the same people that walked in.
Beautiful girls walking by us in dresses going to party, and we want nothing to do with them. We're laying on the floor in our bathing suits.
You guys
trying to gamble.
You guys were there that long playing craps?
It was at least a 10-hour.
How much did you win?
I won like 40.
Yeah, I picked up 11 grand. I remember waking up and I saw 11 grand in chips. I'm like, how'd I get those?
Now, mind you, on this trip, we went out there and we planned it for first weekend of March Madness. One of the best weekends in Vegas. You got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day, NCAA basketball tournament. We went out there going, every single year, Michigan State goes to the Elite Eight. We're hammering them. First game at least, no matter what, max betting. Both plan on putting 5-10 grand on them. We get so buckled, we both forget to bet the game. They win by 30. I'm like, it's unbelievable. We had one plan when we came out to Vegas.
The time change messed us up. Like, it was the noon game back east, and we were thinking,
it was 9 I think that's where we missed
we went to bed at 5. How are we going to get up at 9 to bet a game?
It wasn't like your cell phones reset back then either.
I don't even...
This wasn't even that long ago.
My crap story from the Bruckheimer was Commodore. He was there one year. And he's just a spark plug, right? So he's kind of one of the leaders where he's got that aura about him where you want to be around him because you know you're going to laugh and have a good time. Well, I think it was halfway through the weekend, and you know, I ended up going up to my room instead of sticking with the boys while they were gambling. I had some stuff to take care of. Well, sure as shit, I think Commodore won over 20 grand at the craps table. Everybody who was there with them, like minimum like 5 grand. Everybody walked away a winner, and I went upstairs to get my dick wet.
If you're rolling it, you're just like, I'm doing this for everyone.
Well, and then like not only did I miss out on the money, but like they were on like a 2-hour heater where like imagine the morale you just missed.
That's why.
Remember the blackjack? Me, you, and Conley.
Oh.
I think he picked up 70. You picked up 40. I was the low guy at 10.
I remember Conley had 15 $5,000 chips. I think it was.
He was borrowing from me. He was out of money. I lent him 1,000. It's like, give me another one. I gave him another one. He owed me 13 grand at one point in that sitting.
And ended up 80.
And flipped it to up 70. But it was all the morale. Remember, it's like high fiving. Like we had routines for every hand. It was. Roachy was there, just sitting in the weeds, just partying.
Yeah, my buddy was there. He's like, "I'll sit here. Just give me Bud Lights. Just give me Bud Lights."
It was the morale. It was a party, and then we were all winning money. Like,
mind you, though, so it was 50 minutes where I'm serious. We might have all lost together 4 hands. So. What happens? The new dealer comes, and us three are belligerent at this time. Oh, try to cool us off. Don't even fucking try it. New guys coming in looking at us like, I have to start dealing with these guys. We dummy this guy. They bring another one. Yep, lucky number 3 will get it done. Try again. But they liked us. But whoever's up top's like, we have to switch something.
Yeah.
So we went through about, I'm going to say 5 dealers. Yeah. Dummied them all until the Widowmaker
we came right from the pool. The pool party ended. We came right in our bathing suits. And we were in bathing sills till 4 a.m.
And then, wait. So then all of a sudden they send over the Black Widow, you said, and then...
Well, yeah, whoever ended up killing us. But at this point, you're up so much. I remember putting 30 grand over here and being like, all right, well, when this is all I've left, I'm out. I'm good at that. Like I kind of will pump my own tires. I'm like, all right, or if I lose enough, I'm like done. This guy chases. Yeah. He's like, wait, but not every time. So often he ends up getting it back. So it's like sometimes if you just wait it out, you'll at least grind some of the losses back.
Yeah,
but there's so many
the kids
losses.
Listening at home, do not use this advice. No, do not gamble.
All right, we got to talk about Tim Connolly. You said you're pretty good friends with him.
Yeah, he's my best friend. You know, we grew up playing like we were 9 years old. We played together in Syracuse Stars, and you know we were 2 little cocky. We like little fuckers, and we were just
really nasty.
We were just nasty. We were scoring nonstop. We were going up to Canada, beating up all those teams, running our mouths, and just we were so good. He was so good. He was playing 2 years up, which is crazy now. They don't even let the kids play up anymore. But he was that good playing 2 years up, and that was part of why he was so good. But yeah, then he made the NHL at 18 when nobody did. Like Thornton did, and then it was him. And
where did he play in the O?
Erie Otters. He's a show HLer, like the biz, and show HL. You know?
Well, what's funny is the first time I met him, and I'd heard so much about him from Murley, he's a great guy. We went out to dinner that trip in Vegas. We had a nice dinner, which I don't even know why we were doing that. And we're getting loud, and you're swearing. All of a sudden, Merle's a good guy because there's some people looking around on a nice dinner with their wife. He's like, guys, no more swearing. Come on, let's swear jar here. Swear jar, no more swearing. He goes, fuck you, Murley, and shoves 100 in the swear jar. He's like, that buys me 30. Shut up.
Oh, that Jerry Bruckheimer tournament, going back quick. You were there one year with Chelios, were you not?
Yeah. I was there a couple years with him. Yeah.
For those of you wondering, Jerry Bruckheimer, big movie producer. I'm sure tons of you listening know. He did the Pirates of the Caribbeans.
The Bad Boys. Like, that's what the tournament was called, the Bad Boys tournament.
Yeah, Bad Boys Invitational.
Yeah. And that's another, like, Cuba Gooding Jr. was always there playing. That was another big movie star there. And, it's a couple good stories from there. The first one was when Mark Bergevin, who I had played, like, 5-6 games with the year before. And I'm out there, and I'm like, yeah, like, what team are you on? He goes, man. He goes, my equipment got lost at the airport. And I'm like, oh, man, that's too bad. Like, I was so dumb and naive. Like, he didn't want to be playing hockey. He's in Vegas. He's 35 years old. He never even brought his equipment in the first place. But I was so young and naive. Like, oh man, that sucks.
He would lie and say he lost it.
Yeah, he's like, they lost my gear at the thing, so he wouldn't have to wake up. Like, we're waking up, dude. I swear to God, on my life, I'm playing in the Peacock Lounge. We know Peacock Lounge at Hard Rock. High limit room. I had no business being up there. First of all, I'm in the AHL. I'm playing blackjack, and all of a sudden it's Conley. He's like, dude, let's go. We got a game. I'm like, what? He's standing there with 2 hockey bags. It's 8 a.m. I have to go right out the door and get on the bus and go play this game.
So that's the one rule at Bruckheimer is you can't miss a game.
Yeah.
You can party as much as you want. You could be,
and they cover stuff, don't they? Don't they pay for a lot of it?
Yes, most of the stuff. You could be drooling on yourself, completely incoherent,
but be there.
You put your gear on, you get on the bench, and even if you just have to sit there and take 1 or 2 shifts,
because these other guys are living for this tournament. Like, some of these guys, like, they're just like beer league guys, and
they're paying like $10 grand.
They're also getting after it too, though. Yeah.
So that's why, like, I had to really put on a show, like, off the ice, because, like, these guys, the other team has Fedorov and Roenick, and now this team gets Matt Murley from Wilkes-Barre. So I had to, like, carry my weight off the ice, that's why I had to put on the shows at the Peacock Lounge and stuff like that.
How did that ever end?
I'm not sure. I ended up stopped going because it was always late in the summer. So I think I stopped going when I started playing, like, overseas, because I had to leave so early, so I couldn't go out there for a 4-day or right before camp.
Hey, back to the poker. Do you like online poker? Do you trust it?
No, we used to love it.
What do you remember before pre?
I haven't played it in years.
Yeah, that was ugly.
I don't trust. I think it's rigged. Yeah. It's too easy to rig, I think.
Yeah. The bad beats I've seen, I would think it's rigged too. Yeah. I haven't played that since Wilkes-Barre days. But I mean, we were in Wilkes-Barre. It's a lockout year. You're not going down. You're not getting called up. Like, we're 20 years old. Like, what else were we gonna do? Like, we're gonna gamble. It's like,
fucking right.
There's worse things we could have been doing.
So what were the circumstances that led you going overseas to the KHL?
That's funny you bring that up. It all started here in Philly. So I had signed. It was a year I played in Albany. So then a couple years later, I was like, I'll play in Albany again. So I signed with Carolina. So I signed with the Hurricanes. And I knew I was going to play in Albany. Like, yeah, Matt, you're going to go down there. You'll be our captain. You'll be the first or second guy called up. Like, yeah, that's the plan. So we go to Carolina. I go down there in camp, play the first exhibition game, get an assist. Not a big deal, And the next exhibition game, was actually here in Philly. It was the last NHL game at the Spectrum before they tore it down. It was Carolina versus Philly. Little known fact. Exhibition game. I score a goal in that game. So now I've played 2 games. I got 2 points.
I might make this team.
I don't need to make the team, but keep me hanging around.
I'm not a pigeon.
I get on the flight home. Laviolette comes to the back of the plane. He hands me a ticket printed with my name on it. Like, it's not just like I'm like, so I could have scored 4 goals tonight, and you're still going to send me down? And I'm like, oh. And so I take it in stride, like, whatever, not a big deal. I get back to the hotel. I'm like, 'cause when you get sent down, like, everybody goes out that night. Like, you're in the big city. Like, let's go out. I'm like, anybody want to go out? No, nobody else got their walking papers. Just me. I'm the only one getting sent down. I end up going out in Carolina by myself.
All right, well, Merles, I mean, I think that this is long overdue in doing this in person and going forward. I'd like to tell all the fans, Stapleton, Murls, you're going to hear Brian Berard, a lot of great guys that we finally got to catch up with. We're going to start doing stuff where all these guys come, whether it's we're talking pond hockey tournament. You never know what we can figure out, but we get all of us together. It'll be similar type stories. So thanks for joining us, buddy.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed that interview. And once again, thank you to Bud Light and Bud Light Seltzer for their support of Spittin Chiclets and the ECHL Player Relief Fund. I've mentioned it times before. Go check out the social media, the ECHL and or Spittin Chiclets, to find the GoFundMe that's directly linked to the ECHL Player Relief Fund if you care to help out. Thank you guys for watching.